And that is my sausage gravy and biscuits. Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Jamison, and this is how I cook. You guys don't know this about me, but I'm from South Georgia, and I grew up in the country. And one of my favorite items to have at breakfast, or now that I'm in the city, brunch, is amazing sausage gravy. And so I'm gonna show you how I make sausage gravy up next on This Is How I Cook. Before we get too far into this episode, and before we go over this list of ingredients, do me a favor guys, hit that subscription button and turn on those notifications. It really does help my growing channel. So a sausage gravy obviously has to start with sausage. I've got 8 ounces of Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage that I'm gonna use for my sausage gravy. If you don't eat pork, you can use turkey sausage or some other substitute, but you need fat to make the gravy, so you're gonna have to add some type of fat into it, especially if it's a very lean alternative product. Here, I have some flour. This is about 3 heaping teaspoons of flour. I've got 2 cups of milk. I've got some salt and pepper because we're gonna add that at the end for taste. I've got a nice healthy teaspoon of ground sage. I've got half a teaspoon of garlic powder and about half a teaspoon or a very even teaspoon of red pepper flake. The red pepper flake is optional. You don't have to put it in there, but I want a little bit of kick and spice in my sausage gravy. And then lastly, I've got my friend, my flavor enhancer, a little bit of accent at the end to help season it with the salt and pepper. So I've got my skillet heating up, and I'm gonna start by adding a little bit of oil. I'm not gonna add too much oil because the pork has a lot of oil in it, a lot of fat. So it's gonna release when I start to brown it. And what you wanna do is break up the sausage into the skillet. You don't have to make this super fine, but think about a nice sausage gravy. You want bits of sausage all throughout the gravy, not necessarily chunks, but that's totally up to you how you like the texture of your gravy. Now while this is browning, what I like to do is also make sure that I'm scraping the bottom as best I can. So once I get the sausage to the point where it's almost done, and I see how much oil I have in my skillet, I come back and I adjust. To make a gravy, you need 1 part fat and 1 part flour. And so I need to make sure I have enough oil in my skillet for the flour. So at this point, our sausage is mostly done. We want to take and add our flour into our skillet here. And you want to make sure that the flour and oil combine as you also continue to cook the sausage. And this flour is going to be our thickener to help our gravy come together. At this point, our sausage is done. And so what we want to do now is come in and add our milk. And what I'm doing also, as this milk comes up to temperature, is I'm scraping the bottom of my skillet because I want to get all those nice bits of flavor that developed on the bottom. And what we're going to do is allow this to simmer. And as this heats up, it will begin to thicken once this milk begins to reduce. Now we want to reduce our temperature so we have a nice simmer. At this point, we want to add in our sage. We're going to add in our garlic and red pepper. At this point, we can switch into a whisk to make sure all of our dry ingredients have incorporated nicely. And that's about the texture I want right there. I want it nice and pourable. We need to taste it to finish seasoning it. Let's taste it, see how we need to adjust the seasoning. Oh, that's very good, it's close. We need a pinch of salt. We definitely need some more pepper, some black pepper, and we're gonna add our friend accent in to finish waking it up. So I like to start here with some salt, Coming in here with a generous helping of pepper. And then lastly, I'm gonna add in my friend, Mr. Accent. Then we just wanna whisk this all together. Look at that beautiful texture of that gravy. Now what I like to do is take my biscuit and split it in half and kind of lay it on a plate this way. Get you a generous ladle of this sausage gravy. We're gonna just put it just like that on each biscuit. And that is my sausage gravy and biscuits. This is my favorite part. Time for the taste test. So I've got my biscuits that I made earlier, and I got this wonderful sausage gravy that I just made. Let's see how this tastes. Oh. Okay. I just need to make sure that I'm not hallucinating. First off, the gravy has this wonderful sage note to it. Perfectly spiced. It's not hot. It's not mild. It's not really medium. It's just right there on the edge where you begin to taste a little bit of the spice from the red pepper flake. The black pepper shines through, perfectly seasoned in terms of salt. Our friend Accent helps it out a lot, and you can't go wrong with ground pork sausage. Guys, I want to thank you for watching my channel. I'm Jamison, and this is how I cook. Do me a favor, hit that subscription button and turn on those notifications on the way out. That's how you say thank you for the content. And I've got to get back to finishing up my biscuits and gravy. Or as we would say in the country, my biscuits and gravy. So I'm gonna take care of this. Y'all be good.